Whoa, what's that? This a early morning edition of Block Talk News. You probably could tell that I just woke up, but unfortunately, I wake up on fire every fucking day. For some reason, today, what I'm burning up about is Barack Obama and these stupid ass pictures that seem to depict him, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. Put a picture up. Now, before I speak on the one in the middle, I just want to apologize to Malcolm X because he looked like he won't cry. Like, I can't believe these motherfuckers put that fake ass boy in the middle of me. And Martin Luther King fucking surprisingly looked like he won't smack the shit out of Obama. Don't he look like, man, don't put this bitch ass nigga next to me, some old plain ass motherfucker. Boy, I wish Martin Luther King and Malcolm X could move right now just to smack the piss out of Obama on this picture just for me, goddammit. But I digress, y'all. Anyway, I'm tired of these fucking pictures with this dude. Like he's some fucking dude who made big changes, big thriving, sweeping changes for blacks in fucking America, and that shit is not the case. He does not give a fuck about nor speak for us at all. And no matter how many stupid ass pictures y'all draw like this one, he is still nowhere near these two dudes. And what's pissing me off right now, I mean these two brothers, my bad, y'all know what I mean, but what's pissing me off while I look at this motherfucking photo, they got these dudes under this motherfucker. Like, since he the president, they gotta uplift this bitch ass. Boy, you is a bitch, Obama, and I'm about to get into exactly how he a bitch in case some of y'all like, man, you gotta elaborate because you still don't understand how fucked up he is, goddammit. Let's go to an article then. Now, this article right here is by solidarity.org. We gonna skim through it because we don't really need the whole goddamn article. The last Democratic president, Bill Clinton, once referred to as the black fucking president, even though he ain't nowhere near black, even if this was initially a comedian's line, always spoke of special concerns of African Americans, even when he didn't mean it. Clinton, for example, adopted the conservatives' position gutting the welfare system, which led to tens of thousands of poor African Americans. Now think about that, y'all. Because remember, whoever the fuck he was running up against, who was George Bush the first, they act like he was the boogeyman. Like I told y'all, every year they have a new boogeyman who say, he gonna cut the welfare and he gonna lock us up. That boy right there, bring us back to slavery and all of that dumb shit just to get black people to go ahead and vote blindly for Democrats and don't ask them to do shit for you because they ain't, goddammit. That's how that go. But let's keep going. Obama, however, decided not to mention the special problems of African Americans, even in a situation where the blows of the Great Recession, with its double-digit unemployment rates, disproportionately hurting African Americans. Ain't that a bitch? Remember that Great Recession that a lot of y'all fucking forgot about? That shit hurt black people tremendously, goddamn it. Matter of fact, what was the unemployment for us at that point? I think it was 13%, goddamn it, but y'all know, you could just look it up. But even at that point in time, fucking Barack Obama still can specifically say black people. He can say, I got a black agenda or agenda to get black or African Americans, whatever the fuck that is, a goddamn job, you dig? To get the jobs back in the African American community, you dig? Let's reread the bitch in case y'all don't understand what I'm saying. Obama, however, decided not to mention the special problems of African Americans, even in a situation where the blows of the Great Recession, with its double-digit unemployment rates, disproportionately hurting African Americans. See, look what he talked about. His 25 tax cuts that the administration has already given to businesses. See? And you know what businesses mean, right? It mean not you, goddammit, to white people, white corporations, this, that, and the motherfucking third. 95% of all Americans, he refused to note how discrimination is still alive and well. My bad, let's reread it. He refused to note how discrimination is still alive and well. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't it special impact on blacks? I don't give a fuck about Latinos, Native Americans, or other racial groups. Obama tells African Americans that the positive programs that the government is working on will benefit equally all social groups. See? See? And what we holding their ass to the fire about right now, black people. So pat yourself on the back, you did, because no matter how many people want to say, we gotta do better, and black people are our own worst enemy, guess what? You're learning your fucking lesson. You're learning your fucking lesson, goddammit. We voted that idiot in, and he fucking ain't do shit, and people notice, man, that dude ain't do nothing, you dig? He ain't do a motherfucking thing, so we ain't about to just be voting for them and waiting on them, and we ain't gonna keep letting them say all people this and all people that, goddammit. That's what's not gonna happen. Let's continue. Fucking Obama accept the conservatives' argument that improving the situation for the middle and upper class in general, it will include the poor. See, he's saying, oh man, when I help the upper class and all of that gonna trickle down. You know how these dumb motherfuckers like to say that trickle down economics, that bullshit. See how fake he is? Helping them is gonna include poor African Americans. No need for special programs anymore. You see that? You see that? Thus, he makes a proposal to add more money for education in rural and urban areas, which is good, but he doesn't deal with the inherent inequalities built into the market system. His populist attacks on big banks may play well, but don't end discrimination for foreclosure or provide jobs for black fucking people. Bottom line, Obama's speech was not in the tradition of Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or even Booker T. Washington, who Block Talk News don't fuck with. He would have been proud. It was truly colorblind. See? It was colorblind. And if they colorblind, get the fuck out of my face, because that shit only mean that you're colorless, which means you don't see black people, goddammit. This article, who's post-racial? I don't think we need to read that, right, people? We know that, right? We know we ain't post-racial. This motherfucker, everybody dying. All this motherfucker was saying is any boy can make a baby and all of that old dumb shit. My son would have looked like Trayvon and all of that bullshit. Boy, get your stupid ass on my face. So we know this shit ain't post-racial. Let's read some more of the limits of ethnic black nationalism. That should be good, right? Let's get into that. What also struck me about Obama's speech and the response to it is both the solidarity and narrowness inherent in the black nationalism. It is black pride that explains 80% plus support for Obama in the black community. But ethnic nationalism blinds critical thinking. Look at how the black elites walk around on eggshells when discussing what Obama does or does not do for the African American population in the 1960s and 70s. We saw the same response when the first black mayors was elected. Y'all hear that? For all of them idiots who talking about vote locally. Let's just start voting for black people locally and that's gonna change everything. It ain't gonna fucking change everything. Because they coon ass get in and they rub shoulders with them people who give them a couple of dollars and they gonna look the other way and shit. You heard what he just said. Let's reread it in case you didn't. Look at how the black elites walk on eggshells when discussing that bitch ass nigga Obama. Now let's continue, y'all. What we have is a black community satisfied and proud to have one our own as the most powerful person in the country and in the world. Even if Obama gets little respect from the far right that still challenge his birth certificate, which means them people was walking around disrespecting your bitch ass, but you up there trying to talk about, hey, that boy can make a baby and how it ain't politically feasible for your bitch ass to help black people though. But why these people, on the other hand, they would never do that shit to no Clinton. They wouldn't do that shit to Bush, Republican or Democrat. They was challenging your fucking birth certificate, nigga. Fake ass. Remember when that white woman put her hand in your face, waving her hand in your face? Even Republicans was like, this dude weak as a motherfucker, y'all. But I'm still digressing and shit. Let's keep going. It's why the It's why the criticisms, for the most part, tend to be polite when raised, or whatever. The sentimental black nationalism is positive only in the sense of black pride, but politically it indicates a weak awareness of how best to organize a campaign to pressure the government. And that's what the fuck we doing now, y'all. We pressuring Kamala Harris. We pressuring Cory Booker and all of these lames who look like us, but they not really us and about to quickly turn into them, goddammit. Let's keep going. Blacks in the community acquire more jobs, get a better education, and take on the institutional discrimination. In some ways, we have taken one step forward and two back under old bitch-ass Obama. Bob Herbert of the New York Times and Eugene Robinson of the Washington Post said, two prominent African-American columnists have called Obama and the administration out for failing to deal with the job issue and the high unemployment rates for black people. See, them people was holding his feet to the fire like, what the fuck is you gonna do? You dig? And it took columnists, not the congressional black caucus in them. They ain't do shit. Let's keep going. Because all they do is sit there and let people do the shit. They just one of them ones who like, oh, we got us a good job and let's just sit here. That's what they do. Stupid ass shit. Let's keep going, y'all. They are careful in how they criticize Obama and his failings because the right-wing attacks. Unfortunately, the end result concern among the educated elite, including leaders of the NAACP, who ain't shit, and the Congressional Black Caucus, who I just now was talking about, is political inaction, which means they ain't do shit. Inaction. Didn't do a goddamn thing. Sat there and let them do the shit. Hugging and shit. The failure of black leadership to push Obama and the government to act helps explain why the streets are empty of big protest signs and why there hasn't been the revitalization of a new anti-anarchist movement, movement to respond to structural discrimination. Many of the socialist left may consider the limitation of the nationalism of the oppressed and as irrelevant. Let me reread that bullshit because y'all know I hate fucking up. Many of the socialist left may consider the limitations of the nationalism of the oppressed as irrelevant or secondary to the issue of right-wing attacks, two wars abroad, and economic crisis at home. But Obama's failure to respond in the black community still his strongest base reflects a deep political flaw. So see, y'all, like I said, this article was in 2017 or 2010. I forgot what it said at the end or at the top because they ain't even put their shit together right. But I like their article so far. But anyway, it said Barack Obama failure to respond to black people, which is his strongest fucking base, reflects a political flaw, a deep political flaw. And we reflected on that bullshit, motherfucker. And now we holding people's feet to the goddamn fire. Barack Obama policies are more a reflection of the center of the two-party system, just as Clinton was a new centrist. See? A centrist. See? They Democrat and goddamn Republican. Even though the teabaggers of the far right see this presidency as illegitimate, people even see his presidency as illegitimate and shit, but he don't even say, fuck the teabaggers or nothing. He ain't never respond to how fucked up they be towards his little bitch ass. He just sit there and let them do the shit. But when they come to black people, my son coulda looked like Trayvon. Y'all niggas need to raise y'all kids. Y'all niggas need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. But with these people straight up attacking your ass, you ain't say, bitch, I was born here, I'm American, since you think that. You ain't say, bitch, my shit is legal. Or white woman, you better get your motherfucking hand out my face before I smack the piss out of you. You ain't do none of that. You sat there and let them do the shit. African Americans are still years behind whites in every economic field because he'll try to get he ain't try to knock down the business monopolies or nothing. The increase in education funding and opportunity will not change bullshit. Will not change nothing without affirmative action and special steps being taken by the government, because these people still out here racist, even if your bitch ass acknowledge it or not. Talking about he gonna help the middle and upper class and it's gonna trickle down to us. We still gotta wait on hand-me-downs. We still gotta get they leftovers from the fucking table, according to Obama. See how they used to do the slaves and shit? Y'all ever saw the movie with Bumpy Johnson? Even though your boy was with the fucking mobster, the Italian mobster whose name slips me right now, they handed him the leftovers and shit, you did? So he betrayed him and went over to the black side, went over to Bumpy Johnson. But I'm still digressing and shit. Obama refusal to speak to this issue in his State of the Union is a setback, achieving full black equality. The fact that the civil rights group have not taken to the streets to demand jobs and other programs for the black community lets the government and employers off the hook. The contradiction and oppression of the two Americas is not yet a thing of the past. Y'all see that? So when we basically what they saying, y'all know I be fucking up the reading part because I want to fucking get in on the shit so bad that I just be skimming through the bitch. Y'all reading too fast, but my bad. Thank you to everybody who subscribe and the real ones who still fucking here. But anyway, what I want you to take from this is every time you see one of these dumbass pictures like this with fucking Barack Obama leaning over Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, I want you to get just as pissed off as I get, you dig? As I get every time as I see some bullshit like this. I want you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and smack this bullshit directly off the wall. Once again, y'all holler at me.